What's going on, everybody?
What's up, everybody?
Welcome
Hey.
in. How y'all doing this here Friday, baby? Yes. Welcome in. Y'all better get in here and y'all better enjoy yourself.
That's right.
That's right. Because it's one more Friday, one more week that most people done made it through.
That's right.
And baby,
You made it.
you made it.
Here we go again.
Come on now. With that being said, that's the inspiration behind it. And speaking of inspiration, this next guest is equally as inspirational.
Absolutely.
To both of us.
Yep.
Wisdom. Some said I seen it.
Yep, Song came over from that. I
yes,
believe.
She did.
Yeah,
Song came
with
over
us ever since. So it's been amazing, and that's what Unc do.
That's what he does.
He spread information. He give you good stuff. You take it or leave it.
Yep.
But
or go to the cornfield.
Go to the cornfield. But he loves to help, and if you trying to get it and you about something, then let he come through for you.
Guava, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
And just because you don't see him,
don't mean he ain't out there. You talk about lurking.
Man.
That's the lurkiest of the lurk. I be like, how is you here and over there and over where you at? But let's get this guest in here because this guest is something else. She is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I said she because I felt like it. So without further ado, we want to bring this particular young lady up who took the time out to be this week's Friday Fave.
That's right.
Now I normally don't do this because I don't get too pressed. I ain't never tripping. But for this one right here, I'm gonna have to see some haze and some hellos and some acknowledgments and some waves and some applause or something in the doggone chat for this one right here. Because she's worthy and she's deserving.
Facts.
So without further ado.
And before you bring our guest up, I'm gonna drop their link in the chat. If you are in this chat,
come on,
and you are not connected to our guest, shame on you.
You know,
shame on you.
Yeah.
I need y'all to connect if you're not, and if you are, share this out and share this person's link out so other people can see all this wisdom that you finna have on the screen.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
So I'm just saying. Okay, now that was just my spiel. I'm finna put it in the chat and link it and pin it to the chat.
And pin it to the chat.
And pin it to the chat.
Yes. Hey, RJ Funches, how you been?
RJ.
Where you been? Where you been? You better get in here and enjoy yourself. Let's see. And it's good to have Laura's Garden, all these new people, man. It's about 6 or 7 new people in here. That's what's up.
Welcome.
And for everybody, if you haven't, please share this live out because the more people who get to know this young lady, the better the world is, in my opinion. So that's what it's all about. And after you get back from sharing, her link is pinned to the top of the chat. So all you got to do is go on over there and make yourself accustomed as well. We're with Eddie.
Yeah.
So cabisa. Hey. Okay.
What? I just want your phone.
Okay.
Asante. Sorry.
Hit me with the spirit fingers.
I did.
Bam.
Woohoo! How y'all doing?
We're doing great. How you doing, young lady?
I'm doing fine. You have no idea the whirlwind I've been through to get here today. Because when I text you, I wasn't even home.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
So I finally got home. I ran into the room. I threw the hat on, a little lipstick. I said, well, I can't go in there looking like a hobo. I was like, I got to be at least halfway presentable. Because I was looking a hot mess. I taking care of some business early this morning. So I was like, oh,
yes,
I missed the email and everything. I was just like, since I've come back from my cruise, I'm just behind in everything, and I'm just trying to play catch up.
Right, you're still on vacation mode. That's all right.
I need a vacation for my vacation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we want to say this real quick, Miss Shirley. First off, you look absolutely beautiful, like you're ready for a night on the town. And also, for everybody in the chat, please don't think that we're not acknowledging you or seeing you. But when we have guests, we like to give our focus and attention to the guests. Our moderators will acknowledge whatever they see that they need to acknowledge. So we're not ignoring anybody, but we're really giving our focus over to the guests for right now. So welcome in Roro Latrice.
Hey, Unbiased.
Hey, welcome in Unbiased LLC. Killing it and grilling it.
Welcome in.
And anyone else who we may have missed, as well as congratulations to Laura's Garden.
Yeah.
With that being said, we're going to get back over to the guest. If y'all need anything or have anything, we got TLC in the garden.
I was going to say that rule applies to us, but Miss Shirley, if you see something in the chat you want to address, you go right ahead.
You already know.
We give you undivided attention.
Yes, ma'am. So, young lady, I know recently you took a little R&R. You went on a little vacay, a little getaway to a few places. You can talk about that as much as you want to before we start talking about your channel. But as a 26-year-old woman out here traveling alone, how did you have any concerns about being a young woman out traveling the world by yourself, or what was it like?
Well, when I took the cruise to Alaska, I wasn't alone. I was with a large group of friends and family that keeps growing and growing every time we go. But this is the first trip we've had since COVID.
Yes, ma'am.
Nice.
So it was 65 total in all in the group. 30 of us came from Ohio, all parts of Ohio. And then the rest came from Detroit, Alabama, Georgia, and a few other states. Some of them came up a couple of days earlier and stayed, and some of them stayed later after we came back from the cruise. Now, we flew from Cleveland to Seattle and stayed overnight, and they had a chartered bus because everybody stayed at the same hotel. And they took us over to the ship the next day. So we had a chance to kind of sleep over that night and catch up, and see who all came and who had arrived and who still needed to get there before we left the next day. They said we had just missed 2 days of severe rain and storms in Seattle. And the day we left, it was sun shining and close to 85, 90 degrees on
That's
the day.
all right.
In Seattle. But let me tell you about that though. We were on the ship and we were partying. We was doing the embankment party, where they shove off. And we were in tank tops and shorts and sweating. I mean, it was hot. And then about 3 hours later, you was running for long sleeve jeans and a hoodie, because the further you got, the colder it got.
Right.
From one extreme to the next in less than 3 hours. But it was so much fun. Jay, we were hitting rough waters, leaving out of Seattle out into open sea. And
yes, ma'am.
The boat, not the boat. Don't call it a boat. Call it
the ship. The ship
kind of rocked, and I was walking up on the deck, the upper deck, and I had my cane, and all of a sudden, I just went to the side, and people were laughing, and then all of a sudden, them same people went.
Well, I'm glad you didn't have no falls or nothing, Miss Shirley.
Oh no, I am too. But let me tell you, the beauty of the mountains was just, it would make you cry. And fortunately, we had a cabin that had a balcony to it. So we could just sit out on the balcony and just watch the waters and the mountains go by. I mean, they were so tall, you could see the snow on the top of them. You can even see some that looked like they was up in the clouds. I mean, they were absolutely gorgeous. The water was so blue and clear and calm. When we went through the the glaciers, we saw some whales that came up. We
Oh,
had
nice.
sea
Nice.
otters and seals, and we saw icebergs, and you could actually see where the water had eroded down the mountains and turned into waterfalls at the bottom. It was
Right.
awesome. And our
Right.
first stop was in Icy Straits. And as we were leaving the ship and going over the bridge to go into the main town, you saw bald eagles up in the trees. And I mean, these
Oh,
bad
yeah.
boys was huge. I didn't
They
know
are.
bald eagles could get that big, but these birds were magnificent. And they had one who spotted a fish in the water, and he spread his wings out. And Jay and April, if you could have seen that wingspan on that
I've seen them.
bird,
Yeah.
and
Yes,
then
ma'am.
he swooped down, snatched that fish, and went straight back up in the tree. I was like,
Yep.
Easy
wow.
peasy. They do it all day. You know,
Oh
Miss Shirley,
man.
we actually live. We spent a big chunk of our young adult life in Seattle, and so we know you were down there in SeaTac,
Yeah.
and what you said is very true because we there's a right where the saltwater and fresh water, because in Elliott Bay and in some of the internal bays it's
Yeah.
fresh water, and then you break the threshold over into salt water,
Yeah,
and
they
it's
told us
always
that. Yeah.
it's real turbulent.
Yeah.
And as far as those eagles go, if for people who've never actually seen one in real life, it's a sight to behold.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is.
And it was easy to spot them because they're that big. And you seen that white crown. That white crown
Mhm.
stood out like a sore thumb against the green of those trees. And it was
Right.
so easy to spot them. And everybody's like, oh, you didn't have to really look for them because they just stood out. They were so huge, you know. And
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
and then our second stop was in Skagway, Alaska.
Mhm.
And we went into the towns there, and they got a lot of jewelry stores. Oh my goodness. It seemed like
Oh
every
yeah.
jewelry stores was lying side by side by side. But they had a nice I guess it's like a souvenir mall, and they
Mhm.
showed you the hand carved tools that they use to make a lot of those items and the knives. And they had poppy seeds that you can grow that came from Alaska. I didn't get any. I wish I had, but I do have the name
What?
of the store. Yeah, don't say it.
I can't
But
believe that. Miss Shirley, hold on a minute. Let me clutch my pearl. Miss Shirley, you went somewhere where they had seeds and didn't come back with them seeds.
now wait a minute now. I didn't come back with the seeds, but I did a video on it. So I got the name of the store and I got the name of the clerk. So I told her if I give her a holler, she can send them to me. So it's
Okay.
Well,
All
there
right.
you go.
All right.
That's next,
yeah.
next
So
time.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
gonna get my seeds. But they had everything that you could think of, from moccasins to parkas
Uh-huh.
and whatever that your little heart desired, they had it there. And they had Skagway is becoming a real big tourist town, and they had these air trams that you could get in and ride back and forth through the woods. And they were cutting
Oh,
down
yeah.
trees and putting in zip lines and whatever. Now in Skagway, they have the longest and fastest zip line in the US of A. You keep hearing sound like gunfire going off, and these people coming down these zip lines so fast, so they got like a gun control thing that bam like that to slow them down. They're
Slow them
going that
down. Yeah.
fast. Yeah, and
Right.
I'm a thrill seeker about it. I think that's one zip line I'm gonna pass up though. But I mean, because you see people coming in and hanging like that, and I'm just like, nah,
You
that's
good on that one.
Right.
You good on that one.
no, I'm good, you know. And then they had this huge orca whale, a statue of it up there. And let me tell you what this, and he was inebriated and he got me good. I was looking at the plaque of this huge orca, what it was about. And I went to take a picture, and he ran up on me and he said, "You can't take a picture. That's illegal." And I stopped and I backed up. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to take a picture of it." And he bust out laughing. He said, got you good. I was like, oh.
Tourist.
He was 3 sheets in the wind. He was a tourist himself. He was just messing with me because he was drunk. And he got me good. We laughed at it. My sister wasn't too thrilled about it. You know, she's sitting over there getting the side eye. But I understood he was just having fun, you know. But yeah. But at each port that we stopped in, we got a chance to get off the ship and go into town and just check out everything. And they had some really nice stuff. They're a little pricey in some places, but like one guy told us, he said, "Don't buy everything in the first place you go." He said, "Wait till you get yeah." He said, "Wait till you get a little further down, like was it Quechuan? I don't think if I'm saying it right or whatever, but anyway, he said, "Wait till you get there. That was the better deals." And he was right. He was right. I got some nice stuff for gifts to bring back to my granddaughter, my great granddaughter, and my new grandson. So I got them some nice gifts that I brought back with me. And then the last stop was British Columbia in Canada. They said if you didn't have a passport or your birth certificate, they said don't get off the ship because
don't get off.
Yeah, don't get off because you won't be able to get back on if you can't prove that.
Right. We've been there. Yeah, we've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was nice. The weather was perfect everywhere. And then on the way back, we stopped again and we spent the night in Seattle. But by us getting back so early, we went on a tour of Seattle and we went to the Needle. We went to the Needle and took pictures. We went to the Botanical Garden. We also yeah, and we also saw where the salmon goes up the ladder to spawn and go. And they showed this one area where they were taking salmon out of the water to take samples of them to make sure that they didn't have any mercury in them. So it was like quality control.
Right. Did you go to Pike's Place? Did they take y'all to Pike's?
Wait. I was working on that. Yeah.
Hold on now. Hold on. Slow your roll, Jay. Slow your roll.
I'm trying to tell you in succession how we did that. Pike's,
yes, ma'am.
Pike's Market was the last place. Matter of fact, I got a video on Pike's Place right now in my channel. Where they had the scampies and the lobster tails and you know the shrimp, and we were actually at the counter where they take the fish and throw it. Yeah, we were there. You know, we were there and we saw that happen. But the flowers that they had there was so cheap, and it was just, oh my God. I was so upset. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna take all of these," you know. And people were just buying flowers left and right, taking them home, you know. And I got me some fish and chips, some real fish and chips from one of the seafood counters there.
Right.
And oh, it was so good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I know it was.
I could eat my weight in seafood there. It was just awesome.
Miss Shirley, when we say we miss it so bad, before I get into the Indian Ocean versus the Pacific Northwest Ocean, I want to say this. There are a lot of people coming in. Thank y'all so much for being here. I'm not going to go by individually, but thank everybody who just came in, everybody who commented. If you haven't shared this live out, please share this live out for our guest this week, Miss Shirley O.G. Gardner, and her link is pinned to the top of this chat. So if you ain't connected with my, I almost said my Miss Shirley. I get a little jealous.
She is our Miss Shirley.
She is our Miss Shirley. If you ain't connected with Miss Shirley O.G. Gardner, please find your way up to the top of this chat. Go over there and check out her page.
That's right.
Check her out. Subscribe to it if you feel so inclined. And then make your way on back over here. And hit that like button when you get back. But you go check out Mama Shirley first.
That's right.
And show me that you like me just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Hey, Jay, I really want to. I don't even know see this picture or not? Oh, wait a minute. Let me see if I can get it right.
There we go. Over to there. There it is. There it is.
Oh,
Oh,
look at Michelle.
we see it. Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute.
Those are the Temptations.
That's what I was finna say. She with the Temptations.
Yeah.
Wow, good. Why? Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. She's like, yeah, Miss Shirley with Temptation. And you looking good. You look like you ready to go out there and sing in front of them and have them back behind you now. That's how you look.
Well,
see, looking like a
when
snack.
I came back, yeah, when I came back from my cruise, I turned right around and left and went to Chicago. I was in Chicago for Labor Day weekend, and
Yes,
the Temptations was there for a dinner dance that I was attending, and they did the dinner dance, and they was leaving out, and so I had changed clothes, and I ran out in the hallway, and I said, "Can I take a picture?" And the guys was like, "Sure." And so then I got in the middle of it and gave somebody my camera, and they took my picture. So
that's all right. That's all right, Miss Shirley. That's what I'm talking about.
Wait a minute, Jay. I want to show y'all this one. This is what I had on before I changed. Let's see.
Ooh, ooh, ooh!
Can't tell you nothing. Can't tell you nothing.
Ooh, you better get it,
Miss Shirley. Oh, Miss Shirley. Don't you be out here going around all these different places out here being homeless now. Got the Temptations all walking up on you and stuff now. My goodness.
So I'm through traveling for a minute and I'm broke now. So yeah.
I know that's right. But it was fun, it was worth it. That's all it does. That's all it matters.
So yeah, I really enjoy those last 14 days. And then I got a chance to come back home and hang with my new great grandbaby. And yes, I was like, let's see, I'm gonna show y'all a quick picture because she said she didn't want me to show the baby yet. She didn't want me
to. Go ahead. No words. No words.
I'm trying to see if I can find one that don't show a whole lot.
I understand. Take your time, Miss Shirley. We here.
I got it right here. Wait a minute. I'm holding and giving her a bottle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's adorable.
Yeah. So I got a chance to feed her, change and hold her and rock her to sleep, play with her, kiss her. Cool.
Yeah, that's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Yeah. So yeah, I really had, the end of the middle of August until the first week of September. I've done my thing and I'm ready to sit at home. Every bone in my body ate. I'm moving kind of slow.
It's all right, but you're still moving though. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. I didn't get to work out them certain muscles before I had a chance to go. So they was kind of tight and trying to loosen up for them. And I was just like, okay, so now I got to regroup and try to get everything back in working order now.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Miss Shirley, let's get into your channel. What made you start your YouTube channel?
Gardening. I have a love for gardening and I talk to people about gardening. I actually used to run the garden department at home years ago.
Okay.
And then I went to get my certification as a so-called master gardener. There's only one master gardener, but that was the name.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, yes, we know.
And so I just found out that there's a lot of people out here that really didn't know a lot about gardening, and my passion for it wanted me to help them to learn how to. Because gardening has been a lifelong, I call it occupation, because I've occupied it ever since I was old enough to know what I was doing. I used to sit out in the garden with my grandmother, and she would show me how to loosen up the soil and poke a finger in it and drop the seed and cover it up and water it and move on to the next spot. or she would dig a long row and start dropping beans in it so she could have beans one weekend and then another row for greens. So we have greens to alternative Sunday, So Granny grew a lot of her own food. We never had a garage in the backyard because I grew up in grandma's house.
Yes,
And,
ma'am.
all your family grew up together. They bought a house and everybody was there. Moms, uncles, aunts, cousins, everybody. And
Right.
she made sure that there was enough food for everybody,
Miss
And
Shirley, can you hear us? You can hear
yeah,
us still, can't you?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, so I just kept it going. It was just something therapeutic, even as a child, that had its softness being in the dirt. Kids like playing in the dirt anyway, but to play in the dirt and watch something grow just took it that much further in regards
Yes, ma'am.
to what happens. It's like, wow, I grew this. And then as I got
Mm-hmm.
older, I got into the 4-H club and started growing big vegetables and trying to go for prizes and what have you, and blue ribbons and what have you. The first prize I got for the biggest zucchini they ever seen, I grew it on my own. While the teachers was giving the other little kids some little cups with a seed in it, I was growing a whole garden, so.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
And then
ma'am.
I got into flowers because my grandmother always had flowers, and I used to see the bees all the time around it. And at that time, I did not know that there was um, a, a correlation between flowers and fruits and vegetables, in regards to being
Mm-hmm.
pollinators to help bring the pollen
Right.
in to get fruits from your veggies and what have you. And they're from the South, from Georgia and Alabama. And they brought up with them an apple tree, a peach tree, and a grapevine. And Granny had that in the yard. And I used to crawl up in that apple tree and I would eat green apples until I um, couldn't eat
You
green apples no more.
no more. Yes,
And
ma'am.
they kept my system clean. Let me put it to you like that.
Yes,
Miss
ma'am.
Shirley, I was
Yes,
the
ma'am.
same. I was the same way with
With
pears.
pears.
With pears, I used to climb up in that pear tree and have my way. And now to this day, I think I done ate enough pears for a lifetime.
Yeah, and at that time, the neighbor next door had a peach tree right at the fence line, and she had them big old juicy Alberta peaches. And I would bite into one of those, and the juice would just roll down, and I would break out so bad from the fuzz on the peach, the fuzz on the
Yep.
tear
Yes,
me up.
ma'am.
But it was so good. You talking about an instant sugar rush? Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh
Couldn't
yeah.
get any more natural than that,
Ain't
Facts.
nothing like them peaches.
Yes.
Oh
And
Oh
man.
goodness.
And
being,
then I
I,
would
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miss Shirley.
take the water hose. At that time you drank out the water hose as a kid, wasn't
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
it? And I would take the water hose out in the garden, sit in the middle of my grandma's garden, and I would wash off a tomato, take some salt and put it on there and bite it. And I used to break out from all the acid. I used to eat so many tomatoes when I was a kid. I'm not that big on tomatoes now. I still like them. But I ate so many tomatoes as a kid, so one day I didn't turn red. But yeah, yeah. But
Yes,
back
ma'am.
then you had back alleys behind the house. And I used to sneak out and go in the back alley and look in the ditches. And they used to have pussy willows and willow trees and all that stuff growing and
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. I really got into nature then because I found it fascinating to me.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would do a lot of research as a child, reading books about certain plants that I saw growing in different people's yards or even in my grandma's, yard. And ever since then, wherever I go, I've always improved the property with gardening. I planted flowers or veggies or some kind of perennials that would come back even after I left, hoping that
Mm-hmm.
whoever came behind me didn't tear this out, but could see the beauty that I saw in regards to, renovating a yard or just improving it, the
Yes,
aesthetics.
ma'am.
So
That
yeah.
that you know what that tell me, Miss Shirley, you don't take nothing for granted
Mm-hmm.
because I was as you know, we both from East Texas, and one of the few things, because I ain't got a whole bunch of regrets in life because I try to play it smart as I go along, come what may. I took, like you said, you plant stuff for the people who gonna come after you. We gonna have to call you Miss Johnny Appleseed because you thinking ahead. you
You know
thinking
what,
ahead.
Jay, my mom used to get mad at me before I finally got to one place and just stayed. My mom said, would you quit spending your money and fixing up these other people's yards and stuff? And I was like, Mom, let me tell you something. One, it's my money.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
And I was like, two, I like to fix up where I live.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
try to show some pride in my area. I don't care if houses on both sides of me look like they've been held together by a shoestring. My house, my house is going to look nice. You're going to be
Yes,
able to
ma'am.
you're going to be able to find my house. You know, I used to tell folks about where I live at right now. I don't even give you an address. I just give you the street. You'll know the house.
There you go.
Yep.
And you know what? That is just as contagious as the bad behavior that make neighborhoods end up being run down. So it takes a Miss Shirley to be that person, that one person, even if it's only just you, to say these are my standards. This is what I require of and from myself. And if y'all get on board, you get on board. If you don't, you don't. Now, see, now you got me jumping ahead because I want to talk about that later.
But you know what? I got the neighbor across the street. Her husband cussed me out. And I was like, why was he so mad at me?
What?
Because his wife wanted flowers after she saw me planting flowers. And so now he got to go dig up the yard and plant some flowers.
There you go. And plant some flowers. I told you it's contagious.
It's
contagious. Now, with that being said, what I was gonna say earlier is I miss pecans. I miss pecans. Okay. I grew up. My auntie, one of my aunties, my auntie and my uncle had 5 pecan trees in their backyard. Now, if y'all ain't never seen some of these East Texas backyards back in the 80s,
oh man,
hell, they a half an acre. They a half an acre, sometimes an acre and a half, just the backyard.
Yeah.
I miss pecans so much because in this year, last 2022 and 2023, I want to shout out and acknowledge and give thanks to Good Eats Homestead because she sent us some. But over here with not the exchange rates, with the shipping and all of this stuff, a 1 pound bag of pecans will cost you about $26 US. A 1 pound bag.
Wow.
Will cost you $26 US. So just think about that, y'all. When you plan something, listen to what Miss Shirley's saying. I mean, you want to get what you want to get out of it. But when you thinking ahead, when you thinking about generations when your grandkids and your great grandkids, I'm not a parent. We're not parents. But when you think about somebody being able to find some food off of something that you did 20 or 30 or 40 years ago, it's some power in that. Don't ever underestimate that because it's the truth, it's the reality. And that's one of the most profound things that you can leave to another human being, in my opinion, is sustenance. It's sustenance. That's just me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just want to tell you that I had a house once, nice big house, when my son was in high school. And when I sold the house and I moved to where I'm at now, I drove past that house just to check it out maybe a week after I sold it. The neighbors around the house went over and dug up just about everything in the yard and put it in their yard.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I said. You know, I had peonies and hollyhocks and hydrangeas and stuff. They dug up bushes, and I seen them in other people's yards. So I could tell you who had what.
Wow, they were plotting on you.
They were plotting.
They were waiting.
They couldn't wait for that. I had a big U-Haul van. Van line came and moved me out. I didn't box up nothing. They boxed up, moved everything, and they came less than a week later, and they it looked like somebody dropped a bomb in the yard. I mean, there was they dug, and then the owner got mad at me, called me saying, "What happened to the landscape?" And I said, "Why are you calling and asking me?" I said, "I didn't take none of it with me. Some of the perennials I dug up, but I just took small portions of them. I mean, these folks literally dug up shrubs and what have you. And they
took it off.
You know, yeah, they wanted to get mad at me. And I was like, I don't know what for. I didn't do it.
Like they treated you like a nursery. They said she gone now. They're going free nursery.
Miss Shirley, you should have sent all of them an invoice.
For real, baby.
Yeah. That would make sense, April. I wasn't thinking about that at the time.
Miss Shirley, now I gotta get me. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying I had to get them out for me. I was like, just look around and see all the freshly planted flowers. You'll know exactly where all the stuff went. Yep. And they started looking around and was like, you're right. And I was like, yeah. So I was like, nah, I dare you to go over there and knock on their door and tell them to give it back.
I know that's for real. For real. Now look here, Miss Auntie Shirley. For me, I prefer Auntie, but sometimes you feel like a mama. Sometimes you feel like an auntie. Sometimes you feel like that OG, Miss Shirley.
That's right.
But here's the thing. Now, on different lives, different conversations, Miss Shirley, you and I and April on some of them, but some of them I was just by myself. It might even be a pop-up and you out there in the garden working, right?
Yeah.
And I'll talk about something and you'll pop in. You will say, Jay, I heard what you were talking about. I heard what you were talking about, and I was out here working, and I just this and that. Now, I have to say, as an elder, I absolutely love the relationship that we able to have with you because of who and how you are. I'm asking, what is your inspiration? And how did you? Because I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna keep it 100. Your personality, your who you are, you command respect, but at the same time, you understandable, cool enough, considerate enough, patient enough to hear people out in ways that some of your demographic, your age group, don't always listen to folks younger than them. So my direct question is, what makes you be the way that you are? And how do you feel having the presence that you have in this community? Because you mean a whole lot to a whole lot of people.
Well, I guess it starts with my background. Like I said, I grew up in a house with grandparents, cousins, aunts, and uncles, and what have you. So there was a lot of people in the house. There was always someone home. I also felt that from that particular generation that I came up in, the discipline was entirely different than what it is now. As kids, we were seen and not heard. You didn't sit in a room with a bunch of adults. Your butt went outside and you couldn't come in until they told you to, or the street lights came on. You know, you did your chores and went on about your little happy way. And I had the freedom to roam and go anywhere I wanted and do just about anything I wanted without fear of being snatched, beat up, and all this other stuff. It was a safer time back then. And then times slowly changed. But as growing up, you was taught to respect your elders. You were taught to be kind to people. You were taught not to be prejudiced, to take people for what they are, treat people the way they treat you. They treat you with respect, you treat them with respect. If they abuse you, you walk away from them. You don't hang around them. You don't stay around and absorb that negativity. You, how they say, miss me with that. You know, you go somewhere else. And I just found out that when you give all you have, you get more than you given.
Ooh, yes, ma'am.
Come on now.
That's a whole fact.
A whole fact. 100%.
And when I found out, the more I give out and the more I got back, I was like, I like them kind of odds. You know, have you
Yes,
ever
ma'am.
given something to somebody?
I know that's right.
You know, have you ever given out something to somebody and forgot about it, didn't think nothing else about it because it wasn't that kind of gift? And then they
Yes.
come back later on and say thank you, and you be like, thank you for what? You know, you
Yeah.
had forgot all
Yes.
about it, you know, and they was like, remember when such and such and such happened? And then I was like, yeah, but I was like, I wasn't looking for nothing in return. You know, this
Right.
was something you
Yes,
needed
ma'am.
at that time, and I had it to offer. And I have given the last of what I've had because I know they needed it more than I did at that particular time. And then found out I got something back 10 times four, you
Yes,
know.
ma'am.
Like,
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't know that I was going to make this trip to Alaska. I had paid for it, but the plane fare was paid for and the trip itself was paid for, but I had no more money. None. And boom, the 2 days before I left, I got an envelope. I didn't ask for
Come
it.
on.
It showed up and I was like, I can't afford to pay this back right now. And they said, did I ask you for anything? And all I could do was cry. Same way with the trip to Chicago. I didn't have the money to go to Chicago. My girlfriend from Nebraska said, I have a room. You can stay with me. Just get there. And when I talked to you earlier, I was at my girlfriend's house who's a big traveler. She bought me a frequent flyer round trip ticket and said, go enjoy your friends.
Come on now. Now
Wow.
you know you hear I don't talk about religion that much, but I talk about my relationship with God. I talk about our relationship with God and the Most High as a family. And I want you to feel completely free on this channel to say it all the way with your whole chest. Ain't God good?
All the time.
A way out of no way. A
Yeah.
way out of no way when you can't see beyond everything that you already got set up and established. Somehow it come through clutch for you and you don't even know, and you done bless somebody else 3, 4, 5, 6 months or years ago, ain't thinking about it, then forgot
Yeah.
about it. But it's always a way made for those who make ways for others. I can't prove it. I can tell you about my experience.
Just how true that is. Now, I'm with my sister, so we're splitting, you know, the cost of everything. And I gave her some money. And then when I get home, she called me and she said, I got some money for you. And I was like, what you mean you got some money for you? Because she how to say, calculated and tabulated everything that I would have given her to pay for this, that, and the third. She said, you got money coming back. And I was like, how is that possible? She said, well, you paid for this and paid for that, and this didn't cost as much as we thought it was, and yada yada yada. When can I bring this money over to you? I was like, now.
Hey, I know that's right. I know that's right. Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that really kind of let me know that when you treat people the way you want to be treated, and God's name is Jehovah, and when you call on him and ask him for help and be sincere in your prayer and follow through in on it, it never fails. It doesn't always come when you want it to.
That's right.
But if you are deserving, it will come right on time.
Ain't let me down yet.
That part.
Ain't let us down yet.
No,
And Lord knows when you on the other side of the planet. We done had so much folks from here. First off, we didn't even know how this YouTube thing was gonna be or go. Right. And I'm telling you, Miss Shirley, we over here with the few crumbs we got, calling ourselves helping other people. And when I say blessings have come from people and places that we could have never met. We unexpected. Yeah. We ain't asked you for this.
It's the same thing I feel about you guys. I've had people come into my chat that will share it out from you guys. Okay. Right now, I think I'm about seven people short of hitting 700.
Come on now.
Yep, I'm watching it too. I think
Let's
you was actually at 4 right now.
What?
You at 4 right now. Let me double check because I'm checking. Let me get out of it and go back to it.
Well, I'm gonna take the opportunity to say this. I don't care who in here. If you not connected already, man, y'all please.
Miss Shirley is 4 people away from 700. If you are not connected with Miss Shirley, please go connect with Miss Shirley.
We hitting 700 tonight.
Go connect. And if you are connected, go to her channel and do a community post and say, hey, we trying to get Miss Shirley over this hump and share it that way if you're already connected. But we got to get Miss Shirley to 700. Over. Past 700 before we get off this live.
Because we got time tonight, baby.
We sure do.
We got time tonight. When Miss Shirley way over 700, that's when we got time.
Yep.
We got time. So let's make it happen. Please, y'all, if y'all ain't in here and you haven't went over there, and if you done did it already, then share it out.
That's right.
Share it out like baby said.
Thank you, TLC, for dropping the link. And it's also pinned to the chat. Come on, y'all. Let's get it. Let's get it.
And you know what? TLC is here in Cleveland with me.
Yes.
And she's one of my children. I have children now that I probably would have never had if it wasn't for this community. Presbyterian, going to Savannah and staying with her and her husband and daughter, just like solidified just what kind of friendships you can develop in this garden community.
Yes, ma'am.
And then TLC is right here with me. I mean, Gina versus.
I gotta put this on here.
You at 700? Yes, ma'am.
I gotta put this on here. I gotta put this on here.
Shirley, you at 700?
Let's keep it going, family. Let's keep it going, family.
Let's keep it going,
Let's keep it going. I ain't mean to cut you off, Miss Shirley. Come on, Auntie.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to her.
Don't cry, Miss Shirley.
Don't cry, Miss Shirley. You gonna make hell. I don't want to cry on Friday. Don't do it to me. Come on now. Y'all show Miss Shirley some love.
Show Miss Shirley some love in this chat. Give us some claps.
Yeah.
No.
It's all right, Mark. Come on.
Make me cry.
Miss Shirley, I am a boy. You can't have me up here on these here internets getting all emotional now. Thank you, E-Money. Thank you, E-Money.
Shout out E-Money.
Thank you, E-Money. I'm telling you, some days, and you know what? When I wanted to talk about my garden channel, I had not come in with the notion of being monetized or any of that. I just wanted to share my love of gardening with other people. And I just wanted to, for people to understand that it's not as hard as they think it is. A lot of people see me working out in the yard and be like, that's hard work. I was like, maybe for you, but not for me.
Right.
Because, being in contact with the earth, the soil, it's just, we're from the soil. We're,
Yes, ma'am.
We're from the soil. That's we were made for. That's where we return. And it's just something about it that calms me, that helps me when I'm feeling anxious or depressed or my anxiety level is up. It's just something about being in the garden where you could be in your own mind and not go into strange places. You could see what you're doing and know how to make corrections or know how to take notes in regards to how there go another one of my childs. I got a chance to see the baby one family, Crafty Leo. And it's we were developing the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve. Okay, so
yes,
we are, how they say, DNA.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We are farmers, period.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
So, to wake that DNA up in you makes you want to know even more. We got people here that is new every time you turn around. You got new folks in your chat and they're asking, how do I grow this, that, and a third? Where do I start? Who's in my grow zone?
Right.
How can you help me? And then that's when we start asking people questions in regards to it. We got so many intelligent gardeners here from all over the world.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
And so they can help you out. Once you learn your grow zone, the state you live, sometimes you might be 40 minutes or half an hour away from one of these YouTubers, and they're willing to come and help you. Look how Black Tropical Homestead went over to Presbyterian's house to help her build her chicken coop. Now she got her chicks, and now she's raising them. We have people who will give of themselves freely. They didn't ask you for a checkbook. They didn't ask you for an EBT card. They didn't ask you for a credit.
No, that's right.
They didn't ask for, let me write you out an IOU. They like, I'm here to help you.
Yes,
all you got to do is let me know what you need. Yep, it is. They are tears of joy.
The joy. It better be joy. It better be joy. Miss Shirley, now you talk about all your cheering that you got that you love. How you feel about your knucklehead cheering like myself?
You know what? Wait a minute, Jay. I'm gonna say something to you that I know you'll understand. Hey,
yes, ma'am. Did you just shamandre me? Miss Shirley just shamandre me, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
When I saw April with those two big side pigtails, and she was sitting there blowing bubble gum and chewing, made me think of me when I was a little girl. You could have hit me with a 2x4 and I wouldn't have felt it because I was laughing so hard. Used to pop me in the back of my head and say, "Spit that gum out. I'm tired of you." And then when I seen Jay come out there and they had that little curl on it, oh my God. I think that night, Jay, you and April, could nobody keep a straight face. Everybody was laughing.
It was hard. It was hard.
You see how everybody laughing in the chat now? That's the way it was. And couldn't nobody type nothing because we was laughing. We was blowing snot out our nose and the whole 9 yards. We was laughing at y'all so bad. And April, girlfriend, you need an Academy Award for the best side eye I ever seen.
Because it's real, Miss Shirley. When she mad at me, she give me that too. She hit me with it. Yeah.
But I like it when she do it in slow motion. When April take her head and she turns slowly and cocks that head, and then she turn and them lips roll, and I'm just like, oh, girlfriend got this down to the science.
I'm glad you said it, Miss Shirley.
Look, I know you in deep doo-doo. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I'm glad you said it because when I be like, baby, you know how you just looked at me. I ain't look at you like nothing. I'm like, you looked at me in slow motion. What you mean you just looked at me like nothing?
But, oh my gosh.
But Jay, that one day when April got mad at that crazy woman, I was sitting here actually taking my earrings off and looking for my Vaseline. I was ready to come over there and help you find and whoop that woman. The dog that she had on her face that day. It would have made a rock wall and go. Girlfriend's jaws was tizite.
Yeah. She a sweetheart like 90% of the time, but
I know.
But when she get there, Miss Shirley, like you,
it takes a lot to get me there, Miss Shirley, and I don't like when people
April.
I don't like that. It do something to me.
April, don't nobody like any. To me, that was straight up bullying. Straight up bullying and being disrespectful, and like you just can't come in here and talk smack and don't think you're not going to get a reply. Because everybody up in the chat was ready to hunt their sister down. Okay. I mean, No, you don't do baby girl like that. No. See, you messing with something close to me. And it's like, girl, you ought to be lucky you in a different state. Believe me. Because
I know that's right.
We'd have rolled up on you.
Yeah.
Come on, Mama Shirley.
Like pulling them earrings off. Like what?
Yeah. You'd have been seeing us passing the jar of Vaseline. Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. Let's get it. You know, Miss Shirley, with you saying that this is another part of the conversation while we got you that I wanna. And by the way, thank you for everybody who helped push Auntie Shirley over that 700. Let's keep it going because it ain't over with yet, baby. We got more to do. But I want to say this, Miss Shirley, 100%. You and a whole lot of people, but a handful of people specifically. I had to come to the realization, yes, this is social media. Yes, it can be just an app if you want it to be. But you helped me understand, you helped us understand in a deeper way. For one, I came on here to meet, share what we doing, all that, this, that, and the third. That's fine. You helped us understand.
Can't hear you. You muted yourself. Are you muted?
Hold on.
Oh, there you go. I can hear you
now. Okay. Sorry about that. But what I was saying was, by the way, Miss Shirley at 703. I know we can get this to like 710 before we get out of here.
I know, right?
If y'all ain't sharing this live out and you already did it,
come on, y'all.
Come on, let's make it happen. But what I was saying, Miss Shirley, even some of the things that you done said tonight since you've been on here, the relationships you've built, the people that have helped you and the people that you've helped, the connections and friendships that's done been made over the course of being on this here internet, over this here application we on right now. I ain't have no choice as a responsible man but to say it's deeper than just online. It's deeper than just YouTube. It's real people sitting behind these screens. Yeah. Real people with real stories, with real emotions who may need some support at some point, and they may have some advice or information at other point. That's why I get on here and I take this seriously. I care about how I talk. I care about how, for one, I was raised to have some kind of sense. Now, I done messed up along the way, but I was raised to have some sense. Shout out to everybody who played a part in my life for helping me be the man that I am today. But it's deeper than that, Miss Shirley. Do you agree that this is a little bit more than just a doggone internet?
Facts.
Yeah. And you know what, Jay, about this internet? I had Facebook only because I have family out of state, and this was one of keeping in touch with them. I really didn't know anything about YouTube, and like I said, I found the gardening community on a humble. I was checking to find out how to do a line dance for a girlfriend's party.
I think you talked about that before.
And it just kind of went from there. Thank you, Skilly. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Miss Shirley, we still here with you, but we having internet trouble. It's kind of going in and out, so just bear with us. But
I had that problem last night. StreamYard kicked me out a couple of times, and I even had a few people in chat ask me, did I get that problem straightened out? And I was like, yeah, but that was crazy. Yeah, I had that problem last night. StreamYard kicked
we dealing with it now, so thank you for being patient with us, Miss Shirley.
I actually had to start a whole new stream.
Oh no.
A whole new stream last night because it kept kicking me out. It was crazy. I don't know what's wrong with StreamYard, but every now and then they get a little sideways. But
yes,
I just want to thank everybody who's in the chat who helped push me over the 700. I don't know who all you people are. I know you'll probably show up in my email saying that, you know, you sub to my channel, and I'm more than happy to welcome you in and hope that you like the content that I produce in my videos. I don't do them as much and as often as I was, according on what days my body feel like it wants to work and function.
Yes, ma'am.
But when I get out there, I try to do as much as I can so that I have a little bit of something to show you. Because in a minute, it's going to be cold here. It's cold here now. I got my sweater on and I got on a thermal shirt. It was like 42 degrees this morning. It's only 69 now. So it's sunny. Yeah. So it's already fall here in Cleveland. As it gets a little further south, I know maybe it might be a few degrees warmer than up here, but it's cold here.
Yes, ma'am. When it gets cold, Miss Shirley, what do you garden anything, or do you bring everything indoors? What do you do when it gets cold out? As far as your garden?
Right now I'm trying to use window boxes to grow some brassicas up here on the balcony, because right now I'm tired of fighting the groundhogs, the deer, and the raccoons. So they don't normally come up here. So I'm not gonna give up. And I do have what do they call it? An arrow garden. And Mike been trying to get me to fire this bad boy up and start growing inside. So I'm gonna see what I could do to do so. It's not like I don't have seeds. It's not like I don't have water. So I have no excuse not to try to grow some inside. I just have to figure out what is it that I would like to grow inside during the winter months. But after
uh-oh. Y'all still hear us?
Okay, I think we're good now.
Well, you stuck now. I see our advertisement.
All right. So I was buffering there for a minute myself. And so I want to try some other methods of growing. You know, I used to grow under shop lights to get my seedlings started in the spring. So if I could do it in the spring, I could do it in the winter too.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
TLC said you will do hydroponics if I gotta set it up.
Well, she's gonna teach me about canning. I got a Presto canner, brand new. She said, "Oh, you're gonna learn how to can too." I know how to hot water bath, but it's just the pressure cookers and canners that makes me a little nervous when that rattling get together. I get a little anxiety. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, she's gonna come over and help me, push me in the right direction so I can do that. I can freeze dry. I do have a dehydrator. I mean, not freeze dry, dehydrate. I got a dehydrator. Yeah. So this, you know, like my basil and my rosemary, and I want to try that recipe by you grow with the tomatoes. Now, I don't have that many red tomatoes, but I have a lemon tomato. And I want to try something like that. Yeah, this first year I've ever grown it. And they're huge. I got a couple of them in the kitchen right now that's really a nice size. And I want to do something with them before they go bad. You know, I'm trying not to pick stuff and let it go bad before I actually do something with it, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I know you're going to be fine. I'm glad you got a support system right there with you. We got some black tomato. I forget the name of them. They somewhere over here. From Rambo Green Hands.
Yeah, Rambo was in here earlier.
Yeah. Shout out Rambo. He sent us some tomatoes that we growing right now, and they haven't fruited or anything. But you know, we headed into summer. Y'all headed into winter. It's starting to get cold for y'all, and it's starting to get warm for us. But
now, how high does your temperature get there for you guys in the summer months?
High 80s, maybe.
Yeah, it's not too bad where we are because we're in the mountains. Like last week, we were in Dar es Salaam, and that's along the coast. It gets very hot there. But where we are, it stays pretty mild here.
Yeah, like a really hot day here is like really about 86.
It might get up to the 90s.
It might get to the 90s.
Now, how is your soil there? Is it pretty fertile, or do you have to add a lot of amendments to it?
super fertile. Miss Shirley, I actually, true story. I talked to Hands in the Dirt a couple days ago because again we having problems with our strawberries. So I talked to him and I was asking him, bro, what you think about this? This what I got. That's what I got. Yada yada. And if all we use is natural. We use manure for like literally everything, and the fertile is so dense and so rich. Can you reach down, baby? We here, I hold you. Yeah, I hold you. Come here. Yeah. Miss Shirley, come on now.
You're still on the camera, Jay. Stop it.
I know. I gotta act like I got home training. So for the first time, we actually using stuff like this. Like this is easy grow vegetable, which we've never used. We ain't never used nothing like this since we've been here. This is for vegetables. This is for
yeah, I see a cabbage on here.
This is for yes, ma'am. That's mostly for your brass because this is for your fruits and stuff.
Right.
And when we got our strawberries, yes, ma'am. And it's got a lot of the common stuff in it that you know, like, hold on.
What kind of problem are you having with your strawberries, Jay?
Death.
I think it's the water, Mr. Because you know strawberries need a lot of water, so I think it's not enough water for them.
I think it's too much. I don't know.
I don't think it, because when we left, we had them in the powder, and we had it
where they could water, they could draw water, and we was out of town for like a week and a half, and when we came back, they was kind of okay, but as soon as we put more water on them, that's when they started kind of.
I think it's water. I don't think they get enough sun where they at.
We're gonna have to move. We can keep moving them around. Yeah, but we trying.
Them strawberries, they stubborn. But the strawberries here out because I really want to grow some strawberries here because the strawberries that we find in the store, they're so small and they're not sweet at all.
And they expensive.
And very expensive because that's not something
that's local to here. So for a little one pint, not one, like 1 quart. Mm-hmm. For 1 quart, little tub of strawberries is like $9 US.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
And they're not sweet at all.
And they're just not good.
They're not good. And I love strawberries, but
now with your weather and your soil, it would seem like that wouldn't be an issue.
I don't know, Miss Shirley. I don't know.
Is it the particular, well, you got all kinds of strawberries like Alpine and whatever. Is it probably you're going to have to find one that might be more suitable to your climate?
That's what we're thinking we're going to do. We're going to get family to send us some different, like multiple varieties of strawberry and see which one work. Mm-hmm. And that's something me and Hands in the Dirt was kind of talking about the other day that it ain't every strawberry is a little bit different. Right. And I think it's the kind that we keep getting that we have access to that don't really do well
just
here.
They're just not common here.
They're not common.
Strawberries aren't common here. Cherries aren't common here. Peaches aren't common here
at all.
So they have a hard time growing. Even
certain stone fruit needs X amount of chill hours. Does it get cold enough for them to have the chill hours they need?
In the summer and spring, no.
Okay. Maybe about 3 months ago, and maybe some of it is on us. Maybe we should have, but we didn't have access to them. We went to every year they had the event here called Nane Nane, and that's when we go and have access to more stuff from Kenya, from Uganda, from different parts of Africa that we can actually get. But outside of that, it's hard to get access to it. We can only get it when we can get it unless we get family to send it to us.
I'm just looking through since we got Miss Shirley up here. I'm gonna ask her which one of these she wants for being a Friday fave.
Yeah, and for being Miss Shirley.
Miss Shirley some seeds, so you can show the seeds, and she can pick the ones that she wants.
And I'm sure this is stuff you already got, but we got so many of these, we can't help. We got plenty to share. So We got cabbage, which I know you can get easy, but these are actually from East Africa. For all of these are from the East Africa Seed Company, and we got some more from a few different companies. This one,
now,
yeah.
Now the seeds that you're sending from Africa, do you know if we have ever grown that particular variety here in the United States?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Because
there's a couple that's Georgia collards.
All of these are brassicas for the most part. Cabica.
And it's getting cold there. So
Cabica. Cabbage, Swiss chard, collard greens, Georgia collards. Hey, I gotta keep it 100. Again, even over here in Africa, these are some of the most popular
of
collards.
Yeah. They are the sweetest. That's what I just got through growing in window boxes.
Yep.
But Miss Shirley, it never get cold enough for them to ever get that real frost, because we've only seen frost like I think maybe a half a morning the whole time we've been here. It don't never get cold enough for a real frost, so it get cold.
Yeah.
But for the frost, maybe you got about a month out of the year where it actually get frost over here. So they never get like super. They still kind of bitter for the most part compared to how they are back in the States.
Yeah, it don't get kissed by that frost to sweeten them up a little bit.
Right. Yeah. But Miss Shirley, which ones you want? You want some Swiss chard, cabbage, or what else we got? Swiss chard.
I can never get too much of the Georgia collards.
Okay, Georgia collards it is.
All right. Woohoo!
Georgia collards.
All right, we'll sing you some of them.
And maybe a little something else we throw off in there. So the rest of it will just be a surprise.
Well, thank you. Whatever floats your boat, baby. Whatever floats your boat.
Absolutely. So, Miss Shirley, we know you made accommodations to squeeze us to be able to do this. You already had a long day, and you made so many adjustments to make this possible.
I would make it for you, Jay, in April.
No.
Wow, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. I know baby got something else to ask, and I'm gonna let you say this. Say whatever you want to say as a closing, but before baby question, but I want to say this first. For all the people who out here who content creators, it depends on your style and how you move and what you take seriously and what you don't take seriously. But I'm gonna say this. Out of your whole YouTube portfolio, your people, your demographic, your this and that, it's always a good idea, in my opinion, in our opinion, to have somebody who help balance you out. It's always good to have an elder or someone that you respect to the extent that you think twice about what you're going to say in their presence. You think about how you're going to act in front of their presence. And if you are going to completely wild out and do whatever you want to do, you say, hey, this is one of these lives where we're going to be talking about this and acting like this and do that. So you at least afford them the opportunity to decide whether they want to participate or back out of it. Because of all the things I see missing in the world, respect. Mm-hmm. Overall, good old-fashioned respect is something that's lacking more and more and more. So with that being said, I just
and I just want to say, Miss Shirley, we just love you.
She is a sweet
angel. Just love you.
You know what? I love young people because I love the energy. You know, I have older friends and I love them dearly. But at some point, you can only talk about aches and pains and medication for so long. After that, you want something a little more positive, something a little more energetic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I like to make people feel comfortable, to feel welcome. And I have young people that come over to my house all the time and they sit with me and I'll fix dinner for them. It might just be one or it might be two. Before we had the pandemic, I used to have girls' night at my house once a month. we would have friends come over and we would play board games and stuff. We didn't talk about our kids. You didn't talk about your man or your husband.
Right.
You didn't talk about anybody. You just came and just acted goofy and just relaxed and ate.
Yes, ma'am.
And just had a good time. All of that stopped when the pandemic hit, you know, and I hope that we can get it started back up again, because sometimes we need somewhere where we can go and just relax and be ourselves without feeling like we're being judged or that we have to provide for this individual, for this, that, and the third. One thing we have learned as we get older, we're going to take care of home first. We're going to make sure everything and everybody's all right before we step out that door. Otherwise, we're not able to accomplish whatever we set out to do, because we will be too busy worrying about what's happening back at the house. So there's just certain things that has top priorities. And once you get all your priorities in order, then the rest of it is a cakewalk, you know. So once we learn to take care of home, take care of whatever, whether it's rent, phone, light, and gas, or putting groceries in the house, or car repairs, yard repair, whatever. We know what has to be done in order for our lives to function smoothly. You know, first of all, we put Jehovah God first, because without him, none of this other stuff would exist or be able to become, because he creates everything that's on this planet, in this world. So therefore, we put God first in our life. He knows what we need. He knows that we need shelter, food, and clothing. Once that's taken care of, the rest of that stuff is really mediocre compared to that. Because once you got that, then you can take care of everything else, because your basic needs has been cared for. And that's when you get to nurture and help others, when you know that you yourself is okay. It's kind of hard to help other folks when you can't help yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Amen.
That's true.
You know,
that's
true.
Yeah. I just want to say that all we got to do is be kind to one another, show each other decency and respect. And I like my boy, what Rodney said, can't we all just get along?
I know, right? Yes. I know, that's right.
Well said, Miss Shirley. Well said. And this community loves you. We love you. It's people in this chat that love you. We appreciate you. You know, you come up with Jay because he love when you come up. He loves when you come up. And I be sitting in the background like, oh, I hope Miss Shirley come up. And then Miss Shirley come up and y'all have a good old conversation. It's always balanced. And you always talk from your heart,
right?
And you tell it how what your experiences are, and we appreciate that, because
I'd be like Jay. I try not to get up in grown folks' business, but every now and then, Jay, I might be busy out there trying to dig and pull up some weeds, and my ears be like a Saint Bernard. I'd be like, "What'd he say?" I was
like, "He'll pull you out the bushes."
That's an honor. That's an honor, Miss Shirley.
My hands in the water so I can rinse them out, so I can type something.
I appreciate that.
We appreciate it. We appreciate you. We love you so much, and we love you in this community, and we want the best for you. And I'm speaking it into existence so that Tact, so that I'm sure a lot of people in this chat. We want Miss Shirley at 1K by the end of this year. Make Miss Shirley's Christmas.
Yes.
By getting her to 1K.
Yes.
Before the end of this year. Okay. So then we can have a celebration over at Miss Shirley's house for Christmas.
For Christmas. Or Thanksgiving.
The
sooner the better.
The sooner the better. Yes, so y'all share Miss Shirley out. Let people know. Yeah. And Miss Shirley, please tell everybody where they can find you. I know you go live on Thursdays. Please tell everybody where they can find you.
I love the sentiment that you're saying there, but I don't celebrate holidays. So I would be happy just to make it by the end of the year. It's on 1K.
Well, Miss Shirley.
Well, it ain't gotta be. It could be Miss Shirley Day.
Yeah,
it could be Miss Shirley Day whenever we get.
We already know. We already know you don't do the holidays like that. But the thing is, more folk gonna be off work, hanging around watching YouTube, so more people can be at the celebration.
Yeah,
there you go.
Now I'll go with that. Thank you so much. This is Miss Shirley, the OG Gardener, Cleveland, Ohio, Zone 666B. I'm live every Thursday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I want you to come and check me out. I want you to check out my videos. Please leave me comments. I love when you leave comments. It just makes my heart feel so much better. And that way you can show me if you like me just a little bit. Would be greatly appreciated. Thank you one and all for coming today to African Violet and Pieces of April channel here to let me know that you do care about me, and it's so greatly appreciated. I want to give all my daughters and sons and nieces and nephews and aunties and everyone out there a big internet hug. Squeeze you till you back off the hug no more. And I love you all.
Well, we thank you, Miss Shirley. You are more than welcome. It has been our honor and privilege to have you over here. Really appreciate all of y'all so much. Thank y'all for being here. And as we like to end every live, baby, until the next time that y'all see us, and we see y'all, what you gonna be doing?
I'm be doing what you doing.
And I'm gonna be doing what she doing. And we both gonna be over here
being country
in another country. Peace.